Hello students and the warm welcome in the fifth lecture of the thermodynamics. So students, before we move ahead, it is necessary to revise some previous part. So we will take a quick eye on the concept that we have discussed in the previous lectures. So the first point that we have discussed in the previous lecture is the change in internal energy by the work done. So this is the diagram that we have discussed in the previous lecture in the point of change in internal energy by the work done. We will discuss in short. In this arrangement, when the piston is moved towards the right, then what will happen? The gas inside the piston will get compressed. So the internal energy of that gas will be decreased. And as the internal energy of the gas decreases and the gas will get compressed by the piston, then the initial temperature of that gases will 100 degrees Celsius. Then after the compression, the temperature will be reached at 200 degrees Celsius. Hence, in short, we can say the work has been done on the system, so the system will get the energy. So this was the first thing that we have discussed in the previous lecture. And while in inverse case, when we applying the source of heat to the gases which are enclosed in the cylinder, then what will happen? The molecules of gases will try to push the piston towards the left of the side. Then the internal energy of that gases will increase, thus the work done by the system will be there, thus it loses the energy. So these two important cases in the one point we were discussed. After that, students, we were discussed about the first law of thermodynamics. So students, you can see this diagram from which we were derived a derivation for the first law of thermodynamics, which is Q is equal to delta U plus W. While Q is nothing but a transfer of heat and the delta U is the internal energy and the W is nothing but work done. So combinedly, the equation or the derivation or the expression for the first law of thermodynamics will be the heat transfer is equal to the summation or the addition of internal energy plus work done. So students, if you want to learn it again, then visit to my fourth lecture, then you will get it very easily how we have derived the equation for the first law of thermodynamics. Now students, the next part we will see is degrees in internal energy. So students, you can see this is the diagram for the increase in internal energy. So you can see in the diagram that they have given one system in which the heat is added from the one side and the work done is also from the other side. So as per indication, you can see the Q is equal to 200 joule, that is work added into the system, and while other arrow which is in white color, you can see the W is equal to 100 joule, that is work done by the system. So these are the two values that we have to put into the first law of thermodynamics, that is delta U we have to calculate. So the delta U is equal to Q minus W, that is 200 minus 100 joule will be 100 joule. So this is the total internal energy of the system at last will remain. So students, when there will be question in your exam, so first of all you have to write down, you have to draw the diagram in correct way, you have to show the proper arrows of inward and the outward of the Q and W, then you have to write down the equation and you have to just put out the value of Q and W, then you will get the value of internal energy, that is value of delta U. Thus you can conclude that the total internal energy of the system in this case will be increased with the 100 joule. So now student, we will discuss the second case, which is degrees in internal energy. So students, this is a diagram for the degrees in internal energy you can see on the screen. So students, you have to observe the diagram very carefully. You will be able to see the values of Q and W, how much they are given, rather than in the case of increase in internal energy. In the case of increase in internal energy, the Q means value of heat added or value of heat leaving, it was 200 joule, and the value of work done, that is W, it was 100. But in case of degrees in internal energy, the value of Q, it is minus 200 joule, and the value of W, that is value of work done, is minus 100 joule. But the students, one of the most important difference that you have to spot between increase in internal energy and decrease in internal energy is the arrows. In case of increase in internal energy, the heat was added and the work done was outside from the system. But in case of decrease in internal energy, the Q means the amount of heat that is leaving from the system, it is minus 200 joule. Means in this case the heat is leaving from the system and the work done is into the system. So students, simply you have to put this value into the equation, which is delta U is equal to Q minus W. So students, when you put the value simply into this equation, then Q will be minus 200 minus W, means value of W is minus 100. So the minus will be plus. So minus 200 plus 100 is equal to, there will be the value of minus 100 joule. So this is the exact difference between, in case of increase in internal energy and decrease in internal energy, you have to verify very easily. First one is the arrows. The arrows are exactly in inverse position. Means in case of increase in internal energy, the arrows are incoming, means the Q is coming into the system and the W is leaving from the system. And as in case of decrease in internal energy, the Q is leaving the system while the value of W, that is value of work done, is adding into the system. Means there is the work done into the system, on the system. So students, for your sake of your better understanding, I will represent the two of the diagram simultaneously so you can spot the difference very easily. Now students, I will give you some time to differentiate between in the case of increase in internal energy and in the case of decrease in internal energy. You just observe for a time. So students, now we will see the third case, which is no change will be there into the internal energy. So you can see the diagram for that. The amount of internal energy will be Q minus W is equal to 0. First of all, you have to observe the diagram very carefully. The W, which is from the environment into the system, means work done is from environment into the system, which is of an amount of 200 joule, and the Q, the amount of heat leaving the system from the system to the environment, it is also 200 joule. So students, you may have get the value of W and the value of Q is exactly same. Means the work done from the environment into the system and the heat leaving from the system into the environment is exactly same. Thus the value of delta U you can get very easily. The student, you already have the equation of first law of thermodynamics, which is delta U is equal to Q minus W. So simply you just put the value in that. That is delta U will be Q is equal to 200 minus W is equal to 200. That is 200 minus 200 will be 0. Thus in this case we can say that there is no change in internal energy of the system. So students, these are the three systems that we have learned till now in this video. So students, now we will see the system variable. So the definition of property of system or the system variable is, it is the measurable or the observable property of the system when the system remains in equilibrium state. For example, pressure, volume, temperature, density and mass. These are the few examples of the system variables which we can observe, which we can measure in accurately. Now we will move further towards the intensive and the extensive variables on the quantity of matter. In short, we can take the example of moles, volume, enthalpy and the entropy. Those are the properties which depends on the magnitude. Hence we are just calling them as a extensive properties. And the intensive properties are those properties which do not depend on the quantity of the matter. For example, pressure, temperature, density, concentration are the few examples of the intensive properties. Now student, we will see what mean by the thermodynamic equilibrium. A system is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium if it follows the three conditions of the equilibrium simultaneously. So the first one is mechanical equilibrium, second one is chemical equilibrium, and third one is thermal equilibrium. So these three conditions has to be followed by the system for being in the thermodynamic equilibrium. Then we can see the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium. Now student, each of these three type of equilibrium we will see one by one in detail. Now first of all we will see the mechanical equilibrium. The definition of mechanical equilibrium is, if the system is said to be in the mechanical equilibrium if all the forces within the system and between the system and its surrounding is same, then we can say that the system is the mechanical equilibrium. Or in other words, or with the help of pressure, we can define the mechanical equilibrium that if the pressure throughout the system, between the system and its surrounding is same, then we can say that the system is in mechanical equilibrium. So student, this was all about the mechanical equilibrium. Now we will see the second type of equilibrium, that is chemical equilibrium. So the chemical equilibrium means a system is said to be in chemical equilibrium if there are no chemical reactions are going on within the system. So then we can say that it is the chemical equilibrium. I will repeat one more time. If a system is said to be in the chemical equilibrium if there are no chemical reactions are going on within the system, then we can say the system is in chemical equilibrium. One more important character, we can say that there is no transfer of matter from one part of the other part during this chemical equilibrium state achievement. And the last one is thermal equilibrium. The system is said to be in thermal equilibrium if the temperature of the system is uniform throughout the system and does not change with the time. Then we can say that the particular system is in thermal equilibrium. So three types of equilibrium we will see one by one. Again, for your better understanding, we will discuss in short. So the first type of equilibrium we have seen, the mechanical equilibrium. So we will revise in short time for your better understanding. The system is said to be in mechanical equilibrium if all the forces within the system and between the system and the surrounding are same. Then we can say the system is in mechanical equilibrium. Or in other words, you can say the system is in mechanical equilibrium if the pressure throughout the system, between the system and the surrounding is same. Then we can say the mechanical equilibrium exists. Then after that, the second type of equilibrium we have discussed is the chemical equilibrium, in which a system is said to be in chemical equilibrium if there are no chemical reactions are going within the system. Then we can say the system is in chemical equilibrium. One more important feature of the chemical equilibrium is that there is no transfer of matter from one part to other part by the process of diffusion. Then also we can say that the system is in chemical equilibrium. Now last but not the least, it is thermal equilibrium. So the definition of thermal equilibrium is the system is said to be in thermal equilibrium if the temperature of the system is uniform throughout the entire process and does not change with the time. Then we can say the system is in thermal equilibrium. Means the temperature plays most important role while the system is going to attain the thermal equilibrium. So students, these are the three types of equilibrium that we have seen in short again. So when the question they will ask in the exam about thermodynamic equilibrium, then you have to write in the way that a system is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium if the following three type of equilibrium will be satisfied the condition, and those three types of equilibriums are nothing but the mechanical, chemical and the thermal equilibrium. So after that, you have to write each and every type of equilibrium in detail. You have to give one point, the mechanical equilibrium, then explain about the mechanical equilibrium point wise. Then you have to write the second point, the chemical equilibrium, then explain that in detail point wise. Again you have to write the last but not the least, the thermal equilibrium. That also you have to explain point wise. Then you will get the marks, students. So students, next part of this chapter we will see in the next video, but for your better understanding you can refer the previous lectures on the YouTube, then you will get it very easily. Thank you so much.